All right, let's get into the headlines now, and we'll begin with the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard this morning says Senate presidency, Northern senators threaten revolt over zoning template. All right, that's what the Vanguard newspaper has. Northern senators threaten revolt over zoning template. Okay, that's still talking about the leadership of the 10th National Assembly. From there, let's go to this Nigeria. Turmoil in APC over 10th National Assembly leadership. All right, and aggrieved Senate, House of Reps, as aspirants storm Adamu's office, vows to work against party if zoning is not revisited. Okay, and calm down, we'll look into your issues, party chair assures. Okay, that's this Nigeria. From there, let's go to Leadership Friday. It's still talking about the 10th National Assembly leadership. APC caves in, Akpabio Abbas chances threatened. Party to review zoning arrangement. And list was drafted without wide consultations. Adamu is saying, was quoted as saying this, will be forced to disobey party. Senate presidency aspirants threaten. That's Leadership Friday. That's what you see there. From there, let's go to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint newspaper is still talking about the 10th National Assembly leadership. We never had enough consultations on Akpabio, Abbas, others. APC is quoted as saying this. Aggrieved senators-elect threaten to decide fate if party's choice at inauguration. Fate of party's choice at inauguration. A party will become history if North is edged out. Yari is saying this. Uzor Kalu demands justice for Southeast. Okay? All this you see on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. The Nation newspaper is next. The Nation says, APC chairman to aggrieved lawmakers, hold your fire. Hold your fire. APC chairman to aggrieved members, lawmakers there. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the Nation newspaper. The Punch is where we're going next, and is focusing on the National Assembly leadership as well. APC moves to pacify aggrieved aspirants. APC moves to pacify aggrieved aspirants. Stop agitations. Party will revisit zoning formula. Adamu begs aspirants. Okay, what you see on the Punch newspaper. Now let's move to Nigeria News Direct. Okay, and Nigeria News Direct is saying something else now. May 29 inauguration. I didn't lose February 25 election. Atiku Abubakar is quoted as saying this. That's the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. I didn't lose February 25 election. All right, storms caught with Dr. C. Babangida Secondus, others. 6 live broadcast of proceedings and court adjourns to May 18, Thursday. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the News Direct. Daily Independent is next. Daily Independent says Nigeria's 77 trillion naira debt, calamity of highest proportion. Pengasan is quoted as saying this, right? Nigeria's 77 trillion naira debt, calamity of highest proportion. Okay, The Guardian is where we go next. The Guardian is talking about underutilization debts, hobble $4.12 billion rail rehabilitation projects. Okay. The Guardian is talking about the rail projects generally and in the country. Okay. From there, let's go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust newspaper says uncertainty over multi-billion-naira Abuja airport runway project. Criticisms trail fresh 3.4 billion naira consultancy fee, and the stakeholders delay in project execution. 65 billion naira budgeted in 5 years. And that's what Daily Trust has in there. Okay, the last one we're looking at now is Business Day, and it says Nollywood bets on popularity to attract more investors. Trust that there are more investors. Nollywood bets on popularity to attract more investors. All right, that's what the business day has in there. Okay. All right. These are some of the stories that are making headlines now, and especially the one with the leadership of the National Assembly. That's the biggest story in most of the papers this morning. And my colleague, Kemi Foladeyemo, is joining me right now. Kemi, good morning. I believe the traffic was something else this morning.
Right, it's another of those days, Mike. Good morning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Apologies once again.
No, it's the Lagos we live in.
Like we were saying, all of us in the vehicle were saying, we hope this is not going to be a Friday thing. Because the last time it happened, it also fell on a Friday, and it was a major snarl. It was a major. When we finally got to the spot where it all started from, it's going to be tough for many people.
But what cost? What was the cost this morning?
Two trailers, and it seemed to have been a head-on collision. One occupied the entire expanse, the entire breadth of the road, and how they are now going to tow that vehicle with that particular trailer away is a big question. Of course, people are on ground, officers are on ground, traffic control officers are on ground, but as at when we got there, they still haven't found their way to taking out the snarls there. So at the moment, it's still one way. It has become one way. The other parts that is available for use is one way for incoming and outgoing vehicles. So all that is part of the problem.
I think something has to be done generally, about this traffic gridlock. The moment there's a challenge on any of the lanes, especially the rush hours of the morning or the evening, then everyone is in trouble.
All right, and that area is not so far from where all the rescue emergency services are. So one hopes that
and it will swing into action.
It's lifted, and then there's free passage. Incidentally, the expressway that usually is a nightmare is free.
It's free.
So now we're having on the streets
having
to meander.
How ironical!
We finally made it eventually.
No, of course you're here. That's what matters.
Quite late. Right.
So before you came in, was looking at the papers, and on the papers this morning, most of the headlines this morning is talking about the leadership of the 10th National Assembly, and recall that just about yesterday, the aggrieved aspirants, from most of them from the North Central, decided to pay a visit to the secretariat, the APC secretariat in Abuja, to see the national chairman, to express their dissatisfaction with the zoning formula, what has been laid down so far. So I wonder what you've been hearing people say about this.
Yes, I walked into the studio at about the time when we started the newspaper review, and rightly so, many papers are talking about that all-important meeting. And at the same time, the PDP was also busy yesterday. They called theirs a pally, even though major stakeholders were absent, like Governors Wike, Makinde, and co. But to the issue at hand now of the APC controversy, well, looking at the angles that some papers put it, like The Nation, for example, now that seems to be a conciliatory stance on the part of the national chairman, Adamu, saying, well, and I quote, that they seem to admit that there was an issue with the zoning, and the takeaway for me is that there is room for them to make the needed amendments. And like observers have said, and consult more, like observers have said, the issue of leadership in the National Assembly should actually be left to the lawmakers themselves. They know who deserves what. But of course, there should be room also for the parties to also have a say somewhat. But from the grumblings we are seeing now, the PDP case is still very much staring everyone in the face, and the ruling party will not want to go down that lane. They've braved many storms, and this is one that one hopes that they will be able to weather, somehow listen to grievances and find a way to amend, to listen, to consult more, and bring something that everybody would indeed welcome. The issue of zoning is pretty dear to Nigerians' hearts, and so naturally positions as vital as National Assembly, one would obviously also clamor for the issue of zoning, balancing, fairness, and the like. So I think it's pretty legitimate on the part of the lawmakers who are, expressing this and that about who gets what. And but then I'm all for the issue of fairness and balance.
Oh, yeah, there's the issue of fairness and balance. There's also the issue of, well, we did more. You wouldn't have had a government if we didn't make this contribution.
That is also very
exactly.
important.
So how to balance all of that, I believe, is what is leading to these issues now. Recall that the party came up with their template. The South has the Senate President, the Northwest has the Deputy Senate President. The Northwest also has the Speaker, and then the Southeast has the Deputy Speaker. Now, the President already has come from the Southwest and the Vice President from the Northeast.
Yes, right.
So in all of this, the North Central is saying, okay, so where are we
and
on
they've
this?
Never gotten anything.
Yeah, so they said, well, the point there is, we are for fairness, we are for justice, we are for balance and all of that. But the point there is, recall that we made a huge contribution to the government that you are proud of right now. So how do you fix us in all of this? So that's the thing. But it's a good thing, like you said earlier, the national chairman was saying, okay, we didn't hold enough consultation. So maybe between now and that time, anything can happen. So let's wait and see how things go.
The Nigerians are definitely looking out to see how this will fall out. And of course, knowing how important the National Assembly is, the stakes they have to do and all the onerous duties ahead of them, this is crucial.
Exactly.
And we hope it ends well.
All right.